welcome back. Have you ever wondered what peak mental performance truly looks like? Well, today's guest is here to share what she calls the missing manual for using your brain better at work.
We love that. She's an applied neuroscientist and the author of the brand new book, The Working Brain, Optimize Your Workday Performance. Please welcome to the social, Dr. Brynn Winegard. Welcome.
The way that we work, you say that we need to work according to our brain's natural cycles. What exactly does that mean?
So we used to think that the brain worked on a cycle like the body, right? That night, day, light, dark, sleep, wake cycles that were 24 hours in length.
Yeah.
And what we found from sleep research was that it's actually much shorter. So it's about 90 minutes with a downtime of about 20. And so there's actually 4 phases that your brain goes through cyclically all day long. The arousal phase, which is when you're getting all your attentional resources together, you're starting to try to concentrate, you can get really distracted right then. Mm-hmm. The peak phase, which is amazing, that's the fun piece. That's when you're getting everything done, checking things off. Then you go through this stress response phase. This is when you start to feel like irritable, hungry, hangry. You might have a craving, right? You don't know why, but you feel it. And then there is the ultradian healing response, it's called. I call it something else. But this usually is about 15 to 20 minutes, and this is when you need to take a break. Your brain needs more breaks than your body does. And so I call them in my book, I call them the climb, the peak, the fall, and the valley.
Fascinating. 90-20. Okay.
Yep.
So what if you are the ambitious type of person and you are kind of hard on yourself and you don't want to stop working because a lot of us I'm just going to push through. It's high pressure situation. So what are the negative consequences of just, you know what, I'm not going to rest and I'm going to power through this?
Yes, well, there are negative consequences. That's what you need to know. So many people don't think so. They feel like it's such a benign thing to do. You do need to take breaks because what happens at the neural level is you start to develop like debris in actually plaques and debris that need to be cleared out. So it's like deferred maintenance, if you will, in your brain. And so you actually need these breaks about every 90 minutes. But we think if you're already stressed, if your day has already been long, if you're using a lot of technology, that's actually shrunk down. So it's not a whole 90 minutes, it's much shorter than that.
Wow. Okay.
Well, let's get into that because we talk a lot on the show about how we're being impacted by technology, but how is it shaping or changing our brains?
It is shaping our brains, it's changing it entirely. So that 90 minutes goes down to about 45. So what we think is your working time, the attention span you have to get things done, 45 minutes of that climb, peak, and fall, followed by that same 15 to 20 minutes of break time that you need. So you have less uptime, the same amount of downtime required, less ability to get things done. So that can be really challenging. And we have a graph for you just about how this works, how shortened this really is in terms of how tech is creating. And we all know how that feels, right? It's
so we're now like on the red level as opposed to the gray. Okay,
yeah.
got it.
So you need a lot more breaks than you think, and you need to treat your day like a series of sprints, not a marathon.
Got it.
I feel like I've had this conversation with people many times, the night owl versus the early bird. What's the real deal on that?
It's real, yeah. So it's called chronobiology.
Okay.
Everyone has different neurophysiology, everyone has different chronobiology, and that's because historically humans, social species, we needed in the tribe somebody to be awake all the time.
Oh.
So somebody has to be awake, so we're all different.
That's really interesting.
Wow. Oh my, can it change? Can it change too?
It does.
It does change.
Yes, it changes.
I guess I was the person who was supposed to be night watch because I'm the night owl, baby.
Yes.
Okay, so we know the problem is too much tech and too much stress. So what's the solution to optimize our brain's productivity cycle?
I call it the MERIT framework. It's in the book, but it stands for move, eat, rest, interact, and think. Move is all about the idea that you have to have movement snacks. I want you to move as often as you eat. I want you to think about moving all the time. Fidgeting is great, more movement. Okay. Eating, you've heard it all before, but nutrient-dense foods that are colorful to the eye naturally, and prioritizing protein, of course, over carbs. But the other thing that is really helpful for your microbiome, your gut, and therefore your brain, is fiber. So eating a lot more fiber. Okay. Rest, I want you to take those breaks so you don't get that, stress and the cortisol that comes out. We don't want that. The other thing that our research shows is that you need more sleep than you think. So statistically, you're sleep deprived. Men over 25 need 7 to 9 hours a night.
And how much do
women? 10.
10?
10 hours.
I've heard this.
I'm not getting 10.
I need more sleep. It's the first thing that women give up. We need more of it. Interact is really important. So, especially a digitally mobilized world, we take evidence of how socially supported we are by people who are in front of us physically. And if we can smell them and interact with them and so on, that's how our brain knows if we are socially supported or not. And then think it's the piece around mindset. It's the idea that, you know, that narrative that runs in your mind all day long that is like a voice talking to you? That's the default mode network, and it can talk to you nicely or not, but you train it either way.
Okay.
Wow. There's a lot that's connecting to our earlier segment, you know, about like AI and et cetera. Okay, so you were just saying interacting with people. Your brain actually knows the difference between you interacting with a real person versus a machine. So what's your take on returning to work?
Oh, I love it.
Versus working from home.
I'm in favor. I'm in favor of going back at least 2 days a week. We say 2 days a week is critical. It doesn't have to be full time, but at work is really important. I say make friends at work. That's going to increase your productivity, your mental wellness, things like even your immunity, how smart you test, so many things. So it's so good to have friends at work, to interact during the day with people, especially in the workplace. Very important.
Wow. Okay, finally, I love that you said 2 days a week. Like,
At least two.
calibrate this. Okay, for all the people who are like, yeah. Anyway, finally, you say that there should be one thing that we should be doing for ourselves every day. And I don't know if everyone's thought about this, which is giving ourselves opportunities for mini rejections.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
I want you to lean right into rejection, change, hardship, challenge. I want you to microdose some of that so that what you're doing is you are testing yourself before the world tests you. And there's a reason to do it, okay?
Okay.
When you do hard things, you get something that's called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's a growth factor that is brain-derived. It only happens when you've had a stressful time, when you're psychologically uncomfortable. You've put yourself in the way of that a little bit. And what that does is increase your neuroplasticity. So BDNF increases your growth, your ability to adapt, your ability to actually change with the times, so you become a better, smarter, stronger person.
Brain resilience training.
Wow.
That's right.
Oh my God, that's your next book.
Okay, good.
Dr. Brynn, this has been really, really, literally mind-blowing. So thank you so much for
Thanks
this.
for having me.
Really cool. Okay, the book is available right now, and studio audience, you're in luck because you're going home with your copy today. I know. How lucky are you? All right, why don't we take a break? We'll be back right after this.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.